Late last year, our neighborhood pizza joint, seemingly out of nowhere, went mega ultra viral on TikTok. Now, if you want a pie, you're going to need to wait at least a couple hours. They brought in extra help to help work the rush, and now they are closed on Tuesdays to compensate. They won't even do call-ahead takeout orders because the demand is too high as it is. On its face, in 2025, the story isn't that remarkable. Local businesses go viral all the time, but this is the first time it's happening right down the street from me, and watching that play out has proven far more fascinating than I ever expected, especially since there's no easy way to answer the most important question. Is Amici Pizza really even that good? More on that in a second. First, interesting thing number one, Amici went viral on their own. They didn't need a big influencer to give them a good review. The owner just micro-vlogged her tasks throughout the day, and that was enough to garner a devoted online following. I don't know how many small business friends that you have, but when I talk to folks who own wine shops, hair salons, and hobby stores, their top complaint is that these days, it's not enough to run a business. You also have to be a social media expert. And virtually every time I talk about this stuff, the business owner is like, I hate this, I don't know how to do it, and all the advice out there is both difficult and annoying. This is the first time I've heard a success story from someone who became a sensation just being their real self online. I think that's great. I'm probably going to tell all of my small business associates about Amici's story forever. So, back to the question of how good the pizza really is. I moved to this neighborhood pretty recently, and on the last day of that move, we ordered a large pizza from Amici. It was sublime. I took a picture of it. I was so enraptured by its appearance, aroma, and size. Definitely the least expensive meal that I will remember well into old age. Brie and I commented that maybe part of that supreme enjoyment came from being really hungry and deeply relieved to have finally finished the move. Maybe it was a pizza placebo. So I started ordering Amici whenever we had people over to see if they liked it. We had the Tiennis over. You might remember the matriarch from my really old video about chicken cutlets. They are New Yorkers, they are Italians, and they liked it. My mother-in-law, who has strong opinions on the ways in which the grease atop New York-style cheese pizza should pool when folded, fell in love with Amici. In a vacuum, I say Amici is great. It's the best New York-style pizza I've ever had in Arizona since moving here in 2008. But these guys are so popular now that we've got people boarding planes and flying across the country to try it. That's bizarre. To travel several hours for strip mall pizza in the desert, isn't that weird? Then again, I've been doing the same thing for strip mall Thai food in Vegas, so maybe not. It's the sort of behavior that makes a place like this a little complicated. Like, okay, yes, it's overrated. Don't fly from the East Coast to Arizona for New York-style pizza, but that doesn't mean that it isn't really good. There will be haters in Amici's comments like, guys, chill, this looks like any everyday slice shop in Jersey, but that can be read as high praise. If I moved to Denmark to open a Mexican restaurant and became wildly successful beyond anyone else's failed attempts in that locale, I don't think it would hurt my feelings if the strongest criticism rightfully leveled against me was, that just looks like normal everyday restaurant food that you'd find here in Mexico. Hello, that is the point. Another common Amici haters complaint is that the food is made with commodity-grade ingredients. I believe this to be largely true. Examine the fact that one of their TikTok viral offerings is a Shirley Temple, regular Sprite from the soda gun with regular bright red maraschino cherry juice, a wholly standard offering that will, in theory, differ in no way from anyone else's. So, why is it that anyone who's found out about this place via social media must order a Shirley Temple when they finally make it in? I think it'd be easy to have a cynical answer like, they're all sheep, but remember, it is incredible that the owner was able to make her business pop off by vlogging everyday tasks like refilling ranch cups or portioning grenadine for the day's Shirley Temple orders with narrative voiceover about how she aims to make hers, quote, extra crispy. This, to me, inspires more of a, you know what, hell yeah response. Like, now that I think about it, why does everybody order a honey deuce at the US Open? That's a standard beverage that tastes the same wherever you get it. Like a mint julep at the Kentucky Derby or cheap sparkling wine on New Year's Eve, standard food or drink items can, with repetition, become ubiquitous with a certain set and setting. Does Amici get all of their ingredients from the local restaurant supply store that everyone else uses? Yes, but this isn't an ingredient-driven farm-to-table concept. It's a family-style pizza shop, and Amici does that really well. What makes a restaurant enjoyable? It might be high quality ingredients. It might be a matter of exclusive offerings. It might be a standard issue mozzarella stick if the fried sticks consumption means you can cross something that's tempted you over a phone screen off your personal list of things to try. I get annoyed when people criticize fine dining with lame write-offs like, I bet I would leave there still hungry, thinking, you absolute fool, you just don't get it. And I want to make sure I don't commit the same thought crime in reverse as if you can't get a banger meal from the clients of Aramark and Cisco. One more quick example of the many ways in which this story fascinates me. The sushi restaurant next door to Amici closed down pretty recently and reopened under new management. They now have a TikTok account that will post on Amici's videos in response to comments who lament the long wait time, saying stuff like, we are right next door and ready to seat you ASAP. Have you ever seen a clout goblin restaurant before? Are these externalities not captivating? There's a high chance that the topic of one local pizza shop's newfound virality isn't actually interesting to anyone who lives outside of Arizona, but I see tons of parallels, especially for folks who live in locations with lots of tourism. My third eye is opened. I see how something can be really good and entirely overrated. I don't have the confidence of opinion or maybe self-importance to talk about my favorite no-frills local restaurants because who cares? But now I'm thinking maybe I should give a shout out to Bloomy Kitchen across the street from Amici. Where else can you get a crab puff spring roll, 4-piece California roll, side salad, and a full-size lunch entree for $13? This value doesn't exist anymore, does it? I will happily eat here on a regular basis with a full tummy, unharmed wallet, and a distant, longing stare across the road to the line of patrons that's only grown over time until that one sweet day that I can order my beloved white pie with extra ricotta. I really want one of those again. Please let the hype die down just enough so that it can come back into our family's regular rotation, or allow Amici to expand gracefully such that demand can be met without lowering the bar. Amen.